We, the people, tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We, the people, are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. We, the people, are free. And I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited. There's a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts.
All right, guys, welcome to Candid Conversation. How is everybody?
Hello, hello.
Pretty good, pretty good. How are you all?
Pretty good. Looks like all technology's working. We're on YouTube, Facebook. For whatever reason, stupid chat's not coming up on my thing, but
I got a welcome on mine.
yeah, that's from the Rumble account. I always put that on there. I was going to put it on the Facebook too, but it didn't work the way that I wanted it to. Maybe Robert can put welcome on there, and then that way everybody will see. But anyway, we got Alan Latham today, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, Alan?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you all for having me.
You're welcome. So
I know we've kind of been trying to find a day and a time, and so finally got something available, and we got together, so it things gonna work out.
Shoot, yeah.
Robert, what's going on, buddy?
It's been a busy day. It's been a Monday for sure.
Well, we will not sit and talk about what it is that we want to do for sure. We'll let Alan get going because I don't know what a county clerk does exactly, and I think there's a lot of other people out there. Well, we kind of think what we know what it does, but
Right.
then when we start asking questions, like me, I find out it's a whole other guy at a whole other place. So
Right.
Alan, why don't you tell us?
Well, first of all, I'm Alan Latham. I'm a lifelong resident here in Blount County, and I know a lot of people say that. Now that everything's kind of changing, that a lot of people don't understand the relevance of that. Being a resident for so long, because we've seen a lot of things come and go, and with my age, of course, I'm not as old as a lot of the people that have seen things, like service stations and funeral homes and things grow and expand or go out of business. And so, but anyway, so I'm Alan Latham. I'm running for Blount County Clerk. Just to clarify, and because I've been asked a million times, there's no way you're going to beat Chris Gandrell. I said, well, Chris is working he's running for circuit court clerk, so those are two different areas and avenues, obviously. The position I'm running for, it's based out of the courthouse, and his position is based out of the Justice Center.
Okay. Now that you brought that up, because yesterday when we were talking about that, we were calling it courthouse an old courthouse.
Right.
And you're saying that the building across from the hospital is the Justice Center.
The Justice Center.
And where we call the old courthouse is actually the courthouse. So yeah,
it's the courthouse. It's not it's still the courthouse. It's been a courthouse since I was a kid. Now, if I'm not mistaken, at one time where AAA was, the courthouse was there. Huh. Of course, as a kid, I've always remembered the courthouse being where it is now. So yeah, a lot of people, and I don't know that I get aggravated, but I'm like, hey, where's the new courthouse? Just to aggravate. But yeah, so the courthouse is the courthouse. It holds, the Register of Deeds. It holds the property assessor. The mayor's office is there. Veterans Affairs, the clerk's office, juvenile court's there. The election commission, it's there also. I think I'm trying to think of what else might be there. Human resources. I think they're based out of, for a countywide human resources, they're based out of the courthouse also. So quite a bit. And then, of course, I think a lot of the archives, they're in the basement of the courthouse. So, yeah, courthouse is a courthouse. And so the clerk's responsibilities, you ask. The clerk is over a group of individuals, a group of employees that take care of your registration. Say if you buy a vehicle and you need tags, you come up and they get you to fill out proper paperwork, and then they get your sticker and your tag, and those are good for a year. And then they, also do titles. They do marriage license, business license. Clerk's responsibility is working with the commission. They take the notes and the minutes, take vote, roll call. They do a number of things. So,
Vote, roll call.
well, I mean, they go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying. Then you got several locations too, not just at the courthouse. There's like little, I don't know, what would you call them? Little mini businesses.
Probably like a mini office or substation. I know we referred to them when I was in police department, like a substation. You go. You've got one at the old First Tennessee Bank, which is in front of the library.
Yep.
And then you have one at the mall, and then I think there's also a kiosk at the mall where it's pretty convenient, where you can go in and just put in your information, slide your card, and it'll put your sticker and things like that, registration out.
Yeah. And so you'll be in charge of all of that then.
Yes. Yeah. You're overseer. Of course, you're part of beer board and beer permits. Also.
Beer board and beer permits, really?
Yeah. You issue beer permits. They come through that office, and then it's part of the beer board also.
See, again, I would have never known that.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
So if you want to get married and all that good stuff like that, what is keep going, Alan, because I'll end up saying something about a commissioner, and that's not who you are.
Right. Well, so obviously there's those locations you can go get those things taken care of. You come in, you fill out the paperwork. Obviously, you tell us what you're going to do and what you need, and then they direct you and guide you to the person that will sit down and help you fill out the paperwork and get the things that you need. So I've always talked about being a hands-on. So I can just tell you right now, I don't know right offhand how to fill out that paperwork. Now that doesn't say that I can't learn that, and I will. I just look at it like I've been there, and there's been a backup, and there's been somebody on lunch and things like that. So my goal is to learn the process and be able to step into that window or fill in if somebody's gone and help those people out so they can get back to their daily activities.
Right. So do you know some of the staff that are already there?
I know some of the staff. I don't know them all. Right. And so if you want to talk about staff, I want to reiterate the fact, because there's been some things out that if I'm elected, then I'm going to fire people, and that's not my intention. That's not my goal. So if you're thinking if he comes in here, he's going to clean house, that's not the case. I think as many times as I've been there, I know the majority of the ladies' faces work in that office, and they're very, very efficient in what they do.
Right.
Sometimes they may get stumped on something, but I mean, it's not like, hey, it's ours. They figure out what's going on and they get you going. And that's what I want to continue. I want to try and make things as efficient as possible.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. It wouldn't make sense to come in and try to clean house. You'd want those people that have been doing the job for a while to keep carrying on. Yeah,
Yeah, some of those ladies have been there 20 plus years,
Yeah.
So it would be not very smart or beneficial on my part to start getting rid of folks. I mean, especially those are the people that make that office run rock and roll. Those are the gears. And you
Right.
start stripping away gears, then the machine's not moving. So,
Yep.
it's not one of those things where, hey, you want to come in and just start uh, taking people out.
Well, what made you decide to run for this?
So, well, there's a couple different reasons. I mean, I'd been asked several times if I was going to run, and I'd run for property assessor. I think that any office it's an elected position in Blount County shouldn't be unchallenged on any ballot. Um, I'd have been asked several times, "Hey, man, you gonna run for?" And I said no, and I did. And my wife asked me, my family asked me, and my friends asked me, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. So it came down to there was one person on the ballot, my opponent, and I was at Pleasant Grove Church. I take care of the property there through my landscape company, and I was spraying weeds, trying to get the dandelions and hen bent and things like that under control, so we could start making it look a little better and get the season rock and rolling. And I told my wife the night before, I said, listen, I said, if anybody other than a friend or family member, one of my good friends, asked me if I'm going to run, I'll run. And it just so happened there's a gentleman out there that is kind of an overseer, and not that we've been in altercations or whatever. We just some things we didn't see eye to eye on, and but never, would I badmouth him or him have badmouth me. And we got to talking, and he said, I want to tell you, I really appreciate the work that y'all do out here. He said, I'm one of the main reasons that y'all are still here because of the quality and what you do. And he apologized to me, and I apologized to him. I was like, hey, man, you've talked to me. It's been 110 degrees out here, and I'm weed eating for an hour and a half. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to take things that you say, very lightly. So I mean, you're hot, tired, and you're, a little aggravated. But anyway, it's why, I apologize, and I apologize to him. And he's like, hey, man, are you going to run for office? Now, this was on, I think petitions were due on the 19th. This was on the 18th of April. And I said, well, I told my wife I wasn't, but if anybody asked other than a friend or family member, I would. So I'm standing in the church parking lot, and, I don't know that it was a God thing, but it was one of those things that I said, hey, if I have the opportunity or somebody asks, then I'll do it. And so I left there about 2:00 and went straight to the election commission and pulled a petition. And then ended up getting my petition filled out and I had it turned in, I think, by 11:15 or so the next day. They were due by 12, I think. So
She thought she was getting out of this, didn't she? Then you come over with the petition.
well, I mean, she's very, 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 very supportive in anything I do. I mean,
Yes.
I'll just tell you, I'm very, very blessed to have her on my side. Now, I can just tell you right now, I can get run over by a bunch of people, but I can promise you that's one person that won't. She's like, oh, you should do it. You should do it. I mean, it's always, always encouraging, always, hey, you're the best at whatever you do, and I appreciate that. I think there was a time in my life I thought I was the best at anything I did, and it didn't matter who I was against or what I was doing. And even though I know that I was not the best, that's what kept me going. That was my drive. You know what I'm saying? So if I wasn't, I was going to do my dangest to be the best. And so that's what I take out of this situation. I'm probably not the best. I'm not in the office. So I'll have to learn the day to day. The plus side is, like I said, the employees that work there, they're great. Like I said, I don't know everybody there on a first name basis, and I know a few, but I don't think for 1 minute there's not one person in that office who be willing to step up and say, hey, we can teach you how to do this. We can, so.
Sure.
You got to start somewhere. Not everybody's been, I don't know, you weren't groomed politician right out of high school, obviously. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, I've never been a politician. That's the thing. And I mean, I did run for property assessor, but like I said, I don't think anybody should not be challenged. I think there's a process, and we should utilize that. You know what I mean? So I may look, I may win by 10,000 votes. I may lose by 10,000. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I've gave the people a choice. There's
Right.
an opportunity for you to make a difference if you go and vote. And that's the big thing. You've got to go vote.
Absolutely, yeah.
How's that coming?
Yeah, we've been pushing the voting thing just because there's such a low turnout in these elections because it's not presidential. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like many people's interested when this stuff really affects their lives a lot more. You
Right.
know?
Well, I mean, you've got the last time I ran, let's see, is 26 and 24, and I ran. I think there was 96,000 registered voters in one county, which I'm sure there's more than that by now. But on average, you only had 12,000 people go to the polls.
Yeah.
And when you've got a group of people that are dedicated to going, and then they a lot of people don't research. You know what I mean? They make a phone call.
Yep.
So you're doing yourself a disservice by not getting out and researching your candidates. I mean, I know I'm not running for county commission, but I know a lot of people that are, and I know a lot of good people that are. But I've got my own race to run. So I think that if people get out and do the research, then they'll realize who they need to vote for, not word of mouth. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think people will say, that's a good person, that's a good lady, that's a good man. They do right. You can trust them, and that there's nothing wrong with that. But with this day and time, social media, there's so many things on social media. People are putting out videos. They're talking about what they plan on doing, what they have done. And it's a great tool. So if you're out there and you have researched and you got somebody calling, I don't know many people, but I know there's some that don't have Facebook.
Right.
Some that don't have Instagram or Rumble or YouTube.
Yep.
I know I talked to a few people last weekend that still have flip phones. I mean, it's not something common, but they still exist. So if you can help those people, show them videos, show them what we're about. You know what I mean? So hey,
definitely,
that's what it's going to take. And then it's going to take people to go vote.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your background and some of the things that you've done.
Where do you want to start?
You can go back as far as you want to go.
I'm one of those jack of all trades, master of none. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
I had a very, very good childhood. I grew up around here, played ball around here, went to school, grade school, high school, all in Blount County. I attended the City of Maryville High School. I went to Austin P. To play football. A buddy of mine had graduated a year before me. He's like, man, you need to come up here and visit. I'm like, all right, dude, let's do it. I went up there. Well, I fell in love with the place. I mean, it's a super, super nice campus. Clarksville, Tennessee is a good place. So I went up and we were doing 2-a-day football practices. I ended up blowing my knee out. And I was on crutches at the time. And I remember having a crutch probably about 2 miles from the stadium to the dorm room, Of course, me just being on crutches, I mean, I'm not like a pro at crutches, you know what I'm saying? It's really difficult, especially even when you're young. But anyway, I made it to the room and I remember my phone rang. My dad called, and I could tell he was upset. And he's like, "Hey, man, I need you to come home." And I was like, "What's up?" And he said, "I just need you to come home." And then my mother said, "Hey," she got on the phone. She's like, "Hey, your papa's he's passed away. You need to come home." So I did, and I really didn't look back. I mean, there was a bunch of good coaches there. I mean, I remember Mr. Hale, which was one of my high school coaches. He had talked about Austin Peay because he'd coached there prior to coming to Maryville High School. But anyway, I just decided at that time, man, I needed to be home more than I needed to be there.
Yeah.
So I went to Pellissippi State for a semester and I ended up transferring to Maryville College. I played ball there 2 years, and then I ended up deciding I wanted to start my own business. Because my grandmother, grandfather, and uncle, my mother, they were all in the flower business growing up. So my grandfather, he was in the Korean War, and when they were in the military back then, of course, I don't know if a lot of people know it, they used to give you beer and cigarettes. And he would tell me, he wasn't a beer drinker or a smoker, so he would ration his, and when everybody ran out of their beer and cigarettes, he would sell his.
Man.
So when he came back from Korea, he bought Johnson's Florist in Knox, Tennessee, and then he ended up buying Hartman's Flowers and then Horn's Florist, and then he owned a wholesale florist company in Knoxville. So wow. I said, man, that's pretty smart, man. You're paying yourself to buy your own goods, But at the time, that flower business, it was booming. I can't remember any time that we didn't have 2,000 orders during Mother's Day. Father's Day wasn't really a huge holiday, but, you still did. You had fruit baskets and things like that. And then Thanksgiving, Christmas, it was just a booming time. And then, started getting Kroger and all those things involved. So that kind of went away. But anyway, I want to start my own business. So I went to, it was called Knoxville State Area Vocational School at the time. It's over on Liberty Hill. And I ended up doing a 12-month welding program 18-month program in 12 months. So I said, man, I'm ready to rock and roll, dude. I'm going to open my own business. Well, then finally, you know what I mean? You're like, hey, uh-oh. So I ended up working some shutdown work. I traveled different states and shut down. Basically, they would shut a plant down a couple of weeks. People take vacation, come in, refurbish steam lines, water lines, anything that needed addressing, we did. So I did that for a couple of years, and I ended up getting a job at Moni Manufacturing in 1995. And it was aluminum welding. And we did heat transfer units for Ingersoll Rand, Case, John Deere, some bigger name companies. Pretty good job, but they ended up getting laid off there in 99. And so I left there and I went to J.T. Kerr Racing, and I welded racing cages for a little bit. And I thought, man, I've got a kid on the way. I need some insurance. And so I ended up going to the city of Maryville and working on the garbage truck. From there, I went to the street department, went to the water department. I went to the sheriff's office, and then back to the city of Maryville, water, and then eventually the police department.
Holy cow! So you've been intertwined in the inner workings of, government. Basically, city government, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot, man. I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen some good, some bad.
Yeah.
I was on the motor unit at the city of Maryville. I got anytime you leave a department, you have a hire date. So when I left the garbage truck, I got a new anniversary date. So if you were due for a raise and your anniversary date was 6 months before your hire date, 6 months after, you had to wait an extra 6 months to get your raise.
Yeah, I know how that works.
You know what I'm saying? So it rolled over. So, man, I always tried to, man, if there's a job open, man, I want to get it for my anniversary so I get a raise, quicker.
Right, yeah.
So, we went through a couple, I went through at the sheriff's office. We had a time where we didn't get some raises, and that was kind of voluntary. We had a traffic unit that was on a grant, I think in 2003, maybe 2004. I think the whole department met at the theater at Heritage High School, and we all made a decision to forego raises so we could keep that unit intact. And that was probably one of the biggest team moments.
Right.
With over 300 people in agreement. And that went from the sheriff down. Of course, I've been a part of a bunch of good teams. I was on the SWAT team at the city of Maryville. Was on the motor unit. I was promoted to sergeant overnight shift. So in 2016, my son was growing up. He was playing golf, and baseball, and he was traveling, and I was working night shift, and then I was getting off at 6 in the morning, and I was going to double dip as landscaper to supplement the income for some of the raises that we didn't get. And so, I just decided, man, I really wanted to be on the motor unit, man. That's where my heart was at. And anytime, I don't know if you could attest that if you really love something, man, that's what you want to do. And especially in police work. I mean, there's so many different avenues. You've got people that like working domestics. You got people that work homicide. I like working wrecks. And stopping people and, hey, man, wear your seatbelt. Or, I can promise you, I gave more warnings than I did citations. But my heart was on the motor unit, man. That's what I love to do. And I want to think I was pretty good at it. I got to go to advanced motor school at Donaldson. I became an instructor on the motor unit. Went through a Harley-Davidson Northwestern University and got college credits for that. It was a 3-week deal in Kennesaw, Georgia. So it was a pretty good deal, and that's what I loved. And then I just kind of felt like that wasn't going to come to fruition. I've been on night shift 3 or 4 years and doing all that, and I said, I want to watch my kid, and if I put all my effort into my landscaping, I can more than double my income. And of course, the first year I did. It's hard to walk out the door. Even this deal. I tell you, if I'm elected, it's going to be hard for me not knowing the outcome. If you know what I'm saying, because I don't know what the future holds. I don't know. I want to be the guy that picks this up pretty quick, but it might take me 4 or 5 months. Right. Some of those things it might take you a year, man. But I want to be that guy that's efficient. I want to be hands on. I want to be able to do the work. And obviously, I'm 53. I've made some mistakes in my life. You know what I mean? And I'm going to make mistakes, even when I'm elected. I'm going to make mistakes. But we can correct all that. I'm going to learn from that and be the best that I can be. And number one is take care of those that take care of you. And that group of people in that office are the ones that take care of the clerk.
Right. You had to be a pretty good patrolman. I never got one ticket from you.
Well, I think
I didn't even know you then either, Alan. So
right. Well, and that's the thing, my deal was, I felt like you would be more efficient out there if I'm stopping cars, with my lights on rather than sitting in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I'm out there and I got my lights on and I'm giving you a warning, then there's 15 or 20, now 1,000 cars go by during the traffic stop, I'm sure, with the traffic that we've got. But if somebody sees police lights, they generally slow down, you know what I mean? Or they're like, oh, man, I forgot to put my seatbelt when I get out of that car. The night shift deal, there was a lot of times, man, on night shift, I had to make decisions, that when you made phone calls, you always want to check with somebody. And sometimes, those phone calls didn't get answered, and you're just like, hey, man, I've got to do this, one way or the other. I'm going to make, I've shut the school down because of roads. I've shut down roads because of trees. I've had to call in public works. Those are pretty big decisions, man. One night I was in a foot chase, man, and I ended up I'm a supervisor. I ended up getting over 1.5 miles away from my car, and of course I'm 16, so I've been out of the academy a while, I put on a little weight and I was exercising, but not like I should. But, then we have a shooting all the way across town, and I'm running back to my car, trying to holler on the radio, breathing like crazy. And all my patrolmen, all my officers, they just drive by me. I had one slow down. He just stopped looking. He was gone, and I'm like, dude, my car's all the way on Wing-1 Drive. Give this fat boy a ride, dude,
Oh, that's great.
So, what are you hearing out in the community about, like, for example, I know sometimes trying to get the registration for your car isn't as convenient because I work.
Yeah.
The hours aren't always as available. I know there's several locations, but I just seem like I can never always get it to it on time, and maybe that's more of a Brian thing than anything. But I heard you had some ideas about how you could change
Well,
some of.
I don't know necessarily change, but if there's an idea, if you had longer hours, and make it convenient for people to get off at 5 o'clock. I mean, not everybody gets off at 4:30, and nothing against those ladies that work in an office. I mean, 4:30, those are great hours. You know what I mean? I'd love to get off 4:30 every day. Um, and like I said, not that I want to take away from anybody. I think that if there was a way to work it out that would extend the hours, maybe put 10-hour days. And like I said, those are logistic things, man. You have to ask questions and look at. But if that were possible, I mean, I know maybe some of the folks would give a little flack or not think it's a good idea. But if it could be worked out where you could take those groups of people and split them, on your heavy days, you would have your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Both groups of people working, and every other Friday they would get 4 days off. So one week you'd have, say, if you had a Alpha shift and a Bravo shift, or A team, B team, or Group 1 or Group 2. Group 1 would get a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The following week, Group 2 would get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Like I said, that's logistics if you could work it out. I've also looked at maybe for the people that can't get to the courthouse, or to the substation there at the library or the mall. I mean, the mall is convenient, but for people that have some issues, with mobility, that's a pretty big walk. The most convenient for them is there at the drive-through. But then again, if they don't drive that well, or they don't want to come to town, or they hate town, or I mean, there's still people here that just despise coming to town and look at the traffic that we've got and everything that's going on. If we had a mobile unit, that would go to maybe Rockford, and then go to Friendsville, and then go to Lanier, and go to Walland, and Townsend, Porter. Getting those areas where those people don't have to travel as far. You know what I mean? As far as convenience, and I've mentioned that, and I've got a lot of good feedback. Now, like I said, there's a lot of logistics work out. It's not impossible. Anything's possible. Like I said, there's logistics there. You've got to get the folks that work there. You got to get them on board. And of course, I work 410s, and I really like being off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. If I want to go on vacation, I could take 4 days. You have 12.
All right.
So
On
it depends on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. On Facebook, it says Rutherford County. Danny Elson says has a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week kiosk outside. Yeah. So, like maybe in locations, you could do that even.
Right. Well, I mean, you could, but then where's logistics if somebody's got to have a title, or you've got some complicated paperwork, like when I went, I bought a car from a tow yard. It had a mechanic's lien on it, and you've got to fill out that paperwork. Somebody's got to physically fill that paperwork out and get it to the proper destination so I can get my title in my name for that vehicle,
Right.
And there's also, if you've got, I know I went to change the tag, and we sold a vehicle for my dad, and he had a permanent disabled veteran tag on it. And I wanted to transfer that tag to another one of his vehicles. Well, somebody's physically got to do that,
Yeah.
So my dad could probably do it, but his mobility, he can't walk that far. He can't, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, those are just ideas. Those aren't something I'm hammer fisting. It's got to happen.
Right.
You got to be up to date with the laws and the regulations and things that go on. And plus side is, I got to deal with law quite a bit, as an officer.
Just cool though that you're turning the wheels on trying to find ways to make it more convenient for people, at least to register your vehicle. I get the other things, titles and stuff like that. You actually got to
Right.
physically walk in, whatever, because I know you can do some things online, but even for me, that wasn't as convenient as, as I thought
Right.
it was going to be. You know what I'm saying? So, and like you said, there's not a lot of people, or not a lot, or there are people, maybe I shouldn't say a lot, there are people out
Sure.
there that don't always have access to the same type of technology as I do. You know what I mean? So
Right. Well, I mean, the thing about it is this: even if you tried that and you didn't have the outpouring or outcoming or outgoing that you thought you would, you could always go back.
yeah,
I mean, like I said, there's nothing set in stone. Try to be convenient for the general public. Man, I mean, sometimes uh, that's part of the job. You know.
Yeah,
true.
I like them ideas. Those are some good ideas for sure.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's an idea,
Yeah, and
and
he said it only does just registrations, nothing else. So
who
he
said that?
actually,
Oh, the Redsford.
yeah, he said he actually used it. He said he
Right,
drove up there, used the kiosk. It was very convenient. So it's Danny Elson. He's the guy that does People on the Porch. He's all the music. So they
right,
live
right.
out there in Rutherford. He's from Blount County, but
Yeah.
he's in out there that right now. So hopefully he comes back. But anyway, he was just throwing it out there as ideas, I guess, because again, if you don't know everything that entails to a county clerk, you're just until you need something like a marriage license, and oh yeah, getting married.
Right.
Where do I go to do that? You know what I mean? Or
Business license. I mean, look at a business license. These people. There's several small people opening small businesses almost daily. Whether it
wow, I
be
never thought
something
about
on
that.
Facebook or something selling, selling some trinkets or whatever. I mean, I know I've got a business license in my business. And so
Right?
uh, with especially right now with everything going on, man, it's hard for me to break free. For a minute. When I told you all, I said, hey, man, I'm going to tell you, anytime I try and make a schedule or a plan, something messes up. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just the nature of the beast in my business. And so I was telling you earlier, man, I had a fuel pump go out on something, man. I should have had a bunch of stuff done, but now I've got to backtrack and I might double what I'm doing tomorrow to get caught up for today.
yeah,
So,
yeah. It happens though.
oh
What
yeah,
they
well, I mean, like I
you
said, it's not just makes me stronger. You know what I'm saying?
adapt and overcome,
That's
right?
right.
That's right,
That is
exactly.
right.
Yeah. So.
All right, you got anything else? We've got 40 minutes into this, Alan.
40 minutes. We're
I,
rocking and rolling.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, I think the biggest thing is people out here pushing people to get out and vote. You know, uh,
Yes.
I'm not as fortunate as the guy that I'm running against. His wife worked there in that office 25 years, and she retired. They hired him to fill out her position. And there were several ladies in that office I feel like were more than qualified to fill her position.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Um,
Say that again. A wife worked there for 25 years and they
yeah.
hired her husband when she decided to step down.
And when she retired, they hired him to fill her position.
Did
And
he
like I
work
said,
in the
there was
same office?
no, no, he didn't work in the same office.
So
So,
they overlooked everybody else inside the office and hired her husband, or she
yes.
overlooked everybody in the office and hired her husband.
So the lady that runs the office now, Gay Hasty, she's retiring, and
Oh, okay.
so when my opponent's wife retired after 25 years, she left, and they hired her husband. And then now, I think that was around June or so, when then and uh, the current clerk decided she was going to retire. And at that time, obviously he's got the job. I mean, he's a chief of staff. Uh, so um, who else would you pick? I mean, you wouldn't pick anybody that's been there, known the job. So I'm kind of hamstringed right now. As I say, I've not been there. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to go and learn what he's learned, if that makes sense. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So they did this in June of last year. So basically, he'll have 9 months of on the job training.
yeah, I think somewhere around June. I'm not going to swear to that, but
Okay.
it
Okay.
was around that time. I mean, I don't know the exact dates.
That's
When
cool. But
yeah,
still.
yeah, yeah. So he's been working in that job. You know, and the thing about it is this. I mean, that's just me is the same as an appointment. You know, I know y'all
Exactly.
talk about special elections and things
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
You know, this is actually going to be a special election. You know, this is going where the people can come out and decide now if they think that he's qualified after 9 months. You know, then so be it. You know, but the thing is this: I wasn't handpicked to do anything. I've never been handpicked to do a job. Everything that I've done, I put my hands on and I've worked my tail off to get to where I'm at. You know, and I'm not asking for any special favors. Uh, I don't want a job if somebody's going to give it. You know,
So I'm curious. She's retiring, but she hires her husband. Is he not?
no, it's not her. It's not her husband.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. No,
Okay.
no, it's not. It's not the current clerk's husband.
I got
It
you.
was the chief of staff that retired. They retired her
Jeez.
husband.
I got you. My bad. I'm glad you clarified that. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want to get
Yep.
anything. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But that's the way it went down. So no, uh, I hope when she retires, because I know her and her husband both well. I think they're good people. You know, and I don't personally think my opponent's a bad person. You know, I mean, I tell you, everything I finish, I love you all, and I do. I love everybody. I don't care who you are, where you're at, how you live. I mean, I love everybody, and I'll do whatever I can to help anybody. I just think that with my experience as supervisor at the police department and doing the things that I did with the laws, you know, my experience making phone calls, talking to people, and sometimes making hard decisions when nobody else answered, you know, put me over the top. I'm not handpicked. Um, I'm just willing to go in and put my hands on something and learn it and be the best that I can be and be the best supervisor I can to a great group of people that work in that office. Because I'll just tell you, like I said before, those ladies in that office, gentlemen in that office, they're what makes that office. You know, a lot of people think, well, there's not a lot of decisions and laws, you know, that a clerk goes in and changes. You know, those are set by the state. Um, so I don't go in and change laws now. I just look at maybe avenues of maybe changing efficiency and trying to make it better for those ladies that work there, gentlemen.
So it's just
Yeah.
odd, Alan. I'm going to run off on a wild goose chase here for a second. That
Okay.
in the clerk's office, county clerk's office, I'm saying that correctly, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. We got the same crap going on there as we do in other parts of our administration in the county government, where when someone is finally finished and they want to move on, they appoint somebody and they put them there. Obviously, this one didn't have to go through a commission, though, did it?
No, he
No.
was just hired as a chief of staff.
Okay.
So
So,
that's basically the number two man. That's the second person in charge.
but some of these others had to go through a commission and it wasn't a special election. So basically, again, we didn't get to choose who we wanted to fill that position during, even if it's a short period of time. I know people are arguing the fact that it costs money for a special election and that kind of thing, and or it burdens the taxpayer. And I'm not an
Right.
expert on all of that, and they may be right on that. But I still argue the fact that I get to choose who's supposed to be that elected official that goes in that office, not somebody's family, friend, member, or the next person involved that is going to continue the same structure of how they want things to run in the county, which is what we're trying to change.
Right.
So now we have that in the clerk's office. We have that in the, which is the county. We have that in the circuit or court clerk's office. We have that in the sheriff's department, we believe. We have that running for or mayor if a certain individual makes that. So it seems like these very important positions that are being contested this go around in this election cycle. If these other people that have been in these positions win, it seems like they're on their way out the door with a certain individual that they want to take over that position without a special election. And like I said, I didn't mean to do this to you, but it's just another
Right.
thing that I'm hearing.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's been brought
I
up
understand. I
on,
mean, like I said, there's a lot of
Facebook.
logistics.
Daryl Monday says you're describing the good old boy system. You're describing it without saying it. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's exactly what we
Right.
got going on. It's what people want change in this county right now. Right, good, wrong, or bad. Nobody's saying that the individuals that are going to take that have been appointed are bad individuals. We're just saying it's, how they say, I call it more of the same instead of more of Maryville. It's more of the
Right.
same. It's more of the
Right.
same. You know what I mean? So anyway,
So
I didn't
special
mean.
elections. Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
Special elections. Obviously, there's a lot of logistics to work out with that. I mean, is it going to be we're just going to do one person on a ballot? Or are we going to do a special election in the middle of a 2-year? See, the property assessor's on a different schedule.
Right.
So
Yep.
would you do a special election on? So this is 26. Would you do a special election on 28? You know what I mean? So like, I went through that with the property assessor deal. Okay, so I ran for property assessor. I was there the night that Otto was appointed. And I mean, and I love Todd. I don't have anything against Todd. The only thing that sitting in there watching it, there was a gentleman in there. He was the number 2 man at the time. And so I felt at the time that the number 2 man should have ran the office, which he had been doing for a period of time, because there were some things went on there, that was different. But anyway, I felt like the number 2 man should have ran that office, and then the people decide the election. Well, it's kind of like if you put somebody in there, they're the incumbent.
Right. Yep.
So
yeah.
Now that was based on county commission. Nothing. I mean, I don't fault their decision. You know what I mean? They voted on that, and the majority appointed him to that role. Now, like you saying with special election, that the term was 2 years, so he got to do that until the election came across. Well, if people go into a polling place and they look and it's incumbent, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh man, he's doing a great job. There's no research, no word of mouth, nobody talking. No, hey, I've got Facebook, watch my video, see what these people are talking about. And like I said, there's logistics to work out here. How are you going to do it? What are you going to use as criteria? What are you going to base it on? Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
So I mean, I like you said, there's a lot of good people been appointed. Don't get me wrong, but if it had been, say, somebody leaving and say, hey, we do a special election or whatever, when would that be? Would that be on the schedule, or would that be on, the 4-year schedule? Would it be on the property assessor 4-year schedule, or you know what I'm saying? So if you're going to do a special election, then you would have to probably schedule it during the time that those elections were taking place, because, like I said, logistics, money, things like that, setting up polling places, ballots, and especially if it's a county commissioner. I mean, county commission would be one thing, but if you had a county-wide race, you know what I mean? Say like me and Todd, or me and my opponent now.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be very difficult. I mean, Chris Cantrell, one friend of mine, we grew up together, we played ball together, fine man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nothing bad to say against him, but had that office would have been vacant. You know what I mean? They would have had to have the number 2 man in charge, and then when would you set that schedule. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
See, even
would you do it on the floor?
Daryl even went on to say that, if we can find money to spend on Blue Maryville signs, we can find the money for a special election, So it's
Well,
there, you know what I mean? So
right, and I understand that too. But then you've got what you've got is okay. So is it? It's a county. It's Blount County. The city of Maryville's the one that done the signs. You see what I'm
no,
saying?
we get it. He's just as an example. The money,
absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's money
yeah.
there, but I mean, like I said, the logistic part of it is what you're going to have to work out. I'm going to tell you right now. In two terms, I'm done. I'm going to be 61 years old. I'm going to do something different. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And then we got Crystal come on here, said if it's special elections cost more money, then take my money, please. Too many conflicts of interest, and we need to stop the office appointments. So it is a discussion that's going, because it seems to be the normal in this county. When Avery Mills got in trouble and all that worked out, Braun became sheriff. He was appointed, and then it was just easy to look at the ballot at that time and go, he's already been doing it for a while. He's been doing fine. Right. Carry on. Here we are 37 years later. You know what I mean? So,
well, I mean, like I said, the special elections, the term limits. I know y'all talk about term limits, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm not against term limits. I'm going to tell you right now, 2 terms and I'm done. I'm going to the House. Some people need 3 terms. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of, if you got things going on that you want to continue. I mean, you want the best possible candidates that's going to run for your position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily your same ideas, your same views, but the biggest thing is if you got a good group of people in office, you want somebody's going to take care of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's where I'm at. I'm going to take care of those people. I'm not going to fire anybody, But this is the deal. When it's time for me to walk out the door, Jim Bob and Earl over here, they're on their own.
Yeah.
When I walk out the door, hey, I like you, both of you. I love you, man. Good luck. It's not for me to decide. It's for you and everybody else to go vote and decide that.
Yeah.
So I think that's my thing. If you're done, you're done. Let whoever run for that office, and then let the people decide. Now, if you only get 12,000 people show up, and they get the majority, then so be it. Right. I really think this election, there's going to be more than 12,000 people show up. Now, I may be wrong.
Oh, I think so too, man. I can tell. Even Robert's brought it up, where the temperature out in the county, if you stay home and don't vote this time and you don't like the outcome, all I can say is you're part of the problem, and I'm just trying to be as nice about it as I can. So,
you got absentee votes, you got mail-in ballots, you got early voting.
Yeah, they got every way to make it. Yep, they got every way in the world.
On average, it takes 7 to 8 minutes to walk into early voting polling location and vote. You know what I'm saying? So there's no excuse for anybody. I say that there is circumstances, man, that would keep you from voting. I completely understand that. But if you're really looking for a way to change things and you want things to change, then you're going to go vote.
So I would say death and a felony conviction is the only reason you shouldn't be voting.
Absolutely. Well, I had a thing.
Robert, no, I'm saying, Robert, you do a fantastic job. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like that at all. Yeah.
And like I said, term limits. If you get enough people to go vote, then they're going to term limit the people they don't want.
So that's what we've been told, because when we asked about the term limit thing, that's when I got schooled on it. And so when I got schooled, I went and did some research, and they were right. Everything they were telling me was a bunch of BS that made it hard to make term limits. And then you got to ask the same people that you want term limits to vote in the term limits. Makes no sense. So when you guys come on here and you talk about we don't ask. You guys bring it up. That makes it it makes it perfect. So when you got those out there hollering, we can't run on term limits. Well, everybody that's been on my podcast and Robert's podcast is saying at this time they're leaving. Well, they're running on term limits, people. That's exactly what we're asking. So,
well, my thing, like I said, I don't have anything on term limits except for my term limit is 2 terms, and I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So I've got. I mean, I got a wife, and man, we want to do some things for us. So that's
And
where I'm at.
give somebody else a chance.
Like I said, if these people are griping about term limits and they want term limits, and they really want term limits, then they'll go vote, and that's going to be your term limits. I mean, so
and if they don't, we don't want to hear no more about it.
And that's the thing, that's exactly the thing. So like I said, you got 12,000 people average that religiously vote.
Yep.
Okay, you got when I checked, 96,000, probably more now.
Yeah, I think it's around 100,000 now.
You don't like what's going on, go vote. I mean, bottom line, if you don't like it, like you said, I guess Daryl said the good old boys. If you don't like the good old boys, go vote.
Yep.
I mean, I'll just tell you, I'm not part of the good old boys. I'm leaving in 2 terms.
Nice. Like
I said, when I walk out the door, it's not going to be, hey, this guy's the best one or this one's the best one. Or this lady does it best or that lady does it best. That's for people to do the research and them to decide.
Yep. All right. So we got 2 minutes. Do we think we did a pretty good job? Especially, I know way more about or county clerk. I'm going to mess it up, ain't I? County clerk than I did before I started the show anyway. So
that's another thing I like about this is actually, learning some about these positions. Things we didn't know, some things we thought that they could do that they can't. It's all been a good learning experience for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I mean, like I said, that's part of the research. That's part of I mean, you can tell your friends, you know what I mean? And you can tell your friends, hey, this is what they can't do. This is their ideas. Because like I said, there might be some people that don't, like I said, that don't watch this show that you are acquainted with outside of here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then honest to God, I think this is a really good way because we learned all about what you did for your career. You've been in public service in some form or fashion almost your whole adult life. You know what I mean? So serving the community is obviously not a problem, and then your work ethic obviously is out there because you're running a major lawn care service in the community. And, this time of the year, that's, daylight to dusk. And I mean, you got to run it the way that you have to in order to make ends meet come through the fall. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, so you, as far as I'm concerned, you're probably qualified to do whatever a court clerk is, especially the supervisor of that. You got much supervisor, skills as far as that goes. And so, I think we got a lot.
The thing about it is, I don't have a biggest budget as what they have at the clerk's office, but I do have to operate on a budget.
Right, I'm sure.
To line my stuff out, I do have to, and that's the thing people don't realize, man. Well, you're a landscaper. Well, I mean, not that I'm the best, but I'm relatively successful. I've got some big projects that I take care of. I've got a cemetery that I take care of. It's got over 15,000 headstones in it. We do landscaping, we do mulch, we do rock. I bid a paver job today, bid 2 landscape cleanup jobs, mulch. There's a lot of stuff, that
brings you some administrative experience too.
Well, yeah, and the thing about it is this, like I said, I've got a very good lady that helps me, obviously, and then I'll need help in that office also. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that I can go in there and do, I know everything and I'm going to do it all, but I'm willing to learn it all, and I'm willing to do the job.
Alan, you got support. You got Catherine chiming in. She thinks you're the best man for the job, and everybody else. So it's not that. You know what I mean? So it's just, everybody's over we're all saying the same things. We're saying it, me and Robert, of course, on the Candid Conversation, we don't really try to say anything because we want to be as unbiased as possible, or so that everybody gets to say what they want to say. But you're obviously humbled, you're modest, you're all those things. You know what I mean? And so we appreciate that. I mean, that's exactly what people get from this episode.
Well, this thing about it is this: I'm not. This is not position of power for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to look at ideas, and I want to do what's best for the employees first and foremost. You know what I mean? And get the most efficiency and the best that I can for the community. So whatever we can do to fast track or make it more efficient, I'm all about. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I might go in there and they like, hey, this is a machine. It runs like clockwork. We don't need anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I might say, okay, well, let me sit back and look because obviously doing what I've done, I look and see, hey, if you do it like this, it'll do faster. If you do it like this, it'll do faster. Now my goal ain't to go in there and change everybody and say you do it my way because that's not it. Do it the way you do it, and if we can tweak it a little bit, make it more efficient, let's do that.
They also like the fact that you talk about the people that are already working in the office, that if something was to happen, somebody in that office should be the one that would take the next step versus trying to appoint somebody out from. But I will say this, they want to know, if you win the position and you retire, who are you going to appoint?
I'm not appointing anybody. I told you that. When I walk out the door, like I said, hey, you and Robert can be the candidates as far as I'm concerned.
No.
You know what I'm going to tell you? Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Because that's the thing. That's basically, man. And people don't realize it. If you have an elected position, people listen to you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's great. But it shouldn't be the point where, hey, man, I think, this is the guy, Let the people decide who the best guy is for that job. And that's where I keep going back. When I walk out the door, if Jim Bob and Earl, like I said, they're running, and I love you both. Good luck. Because I mean, like I said, the people like you've talked about, the people are tired of that, and I understand that part of it. So even though I like them both, if I try and influence people, then they're going to say, hey, that's who we need to vote for, because that's who he likes. You know what I mean? Right. So why would I even put myself in that? And then the thing about it is, guess what? What if Earl gets in there and he sucks? Right. And then you're like, hey man, you picked him, that was your boy, you know what I'm saying? So and that's a thing. Like I said, not knocking anybody, but like I said, I just think that, like y'all were talking about, you have a retiree, you hire the husband. I mean, there's a million things I can go on about. I just don't do dirty politics. I don't want to bring up, anything other than what I'm about.
Right.
Like I said, I love my opponent, and I do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want anything bad to happen to him or any of his family or anything like that. You know what I mean? I just think that I'm the best candidate for this particular job.
Sweet. And we'll leave it on that right there, right?
Absolutely.
That sound good? We got an hour and 5 minutes, because we always wonder, everybody asks if we'll be able to fill an hour, and here we are. We do it.
Oh, I knew I could. Yeah. We could probably talk till midnight, guys. I'm telling you.
You can always come in on Tuesday and give your 2 cents. I mean, the whole thing about the Blount County breakdown is, it's the four of us. We always ask people to jump in and say something, spit something out, Even create a little controversy. Conflict is not a bad deal sometimes. You know what I mean? So,
well, I mean, they say conflict builds character, right?
Yeah, we're not all supposed to agree. We're not always
absolutely not, and that's America. That's what people don't understand. Like I said, my opponent, he thinks he's the best candidate for the job. I don't agree with that. Right.
So yeah, man, the invite's
hopefully
there.
I've got more voters out there that agree with me.
That's right. Yeah. You just need what we talked about the other day. 4 more than him.
4 more. That's right. I mean, you just need one. You just need one. You know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah, that's right.
If he's got 5,999, I got 6,001. I'm a winner.
That's a winner. That's right, man. So, well, all right, Alan, we're gonna get you off of here. We got to kick you off the show like always. It's not a bad thing. It's just it's actually the actual word it says. You get kicked. So. we kick all the guests, and then we talk for a few minutes, and we end the show, man.
Sounds good,
Before we
brother.
go, do you got any meet and greets, or you just out um, 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 going door to door still?
I'm out doing some door to door things. I've got a few more. Of course, with stuff like this, man, I run out of signs, so I picked up some more signs today.
That's cool.
Running county-wide, I've got to have 50 signs for just the voting polls, just poll locations. Okay. So anyway, I got a few more signs to put out, and I just kind of taking my time with that. I mean, people don't understand, though. This right here, man, it's exhausting. I mean, and you get to the point where, I was putting some things on Facebook, and I don't want people to get tired of it. You know what I mean? So I'll give them a break, so, and I get a break. So,
right,
yeah. And the thing about it, I mean, you can just overwhelm people and just drive. But hey, man, everybody needs a break every once in a while. Like I said, a countywide race, man, there's a lot on it, man. There's a lot of walking, man. There's a lot of fuel. I probably spent, I can pull my receipt to show you how much fuel I spent.
All right.
But walking, dude. One day I walked 22,000 steps. Another day I had 18,000 steps. The 13, you know what I mean? So you can't tell by how fat I am, but I do walk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think my A1C or my thyroid is what I like to say, my thyroid. So, but anyway, gentlemen, I appreciate y'all's time. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Think y'all are doing a good thing, and then like I said, I appreciate it.
All right, Al. We'll see you soon. I'm sure we'll see you out there soon.
All right, y'all have a great night. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
Man. See you. Bye.
Well,
all right.
Another episode, another candid conversation in the books, I guess. And what do you think, Robert? County Clerk. I always want to mess it up for him. I'm so glad it took the whole show to finally get it right. County Clerk.
Yep. County Clerk. He's definitely motivated.
Yeah.
Seems like a go-getter, ready to get in there and learn it.
He's definitely a worker for sure. So yeah, I can only imagine that he would get in there and work real hard and try to make the system function better than maybe what it is. And so
more efficient.
More efficient. That's probably the better word. Yeah, exactly. So but anyway, we got Blount County Breakdown tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
That's at 9, and then we have Christina Delaney on Wednesday at 6 o'clock, which is also Robert's birthday. And we tried to fix it where we didn't have to do it on that day, but Robert wouldn't. So he's that's pretty good of him, So you're gonna work all day long and then come home and do a candid conversation and do a show.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. He's a real trooper there, ain't he? Yeah. And
man,
then
I'll be 48 now. I don't do much for my birthday other than cook out anyway.
Right.
Maybe kid come over or something.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, just another day when you start getting up there.
And then we have Melissa Marinville on Friday, and that's at 7, I believe. And I'll set the event for it and the name for it. We're going to get into more discussion about some of the stuff that we discussed with her already. And
I think we just touched the tip of the iceberg with her. Yeah,
she wants to do a few more shows, and I'm all for it. She's extremely intelligent. I asked her if I needed any literature, or was she just going to wow us with the information like she did last time? And she said, "I'm just going to wow you with the information." So I was like, "All right,
all right,
we'll go there." So, and then Saturday. At the library from 1:30 to 3:30, correcto?
Yep.
I don't. You got the thing, Robert. You want to pop it up?
I can have it really quick, like.
Okay, I didn't have it ready, but yeah, we will be there with Melissa Marinville, Jeff Coggan, and Jerry Burns for sheriff. And this is not a political event. This is about protecting the children and all of their brilliant minds together coming up with unlimited possibilities of how we can make things better for the children in our community, and not just ours, but in all communities when it comes to predators.
Yeah, we seem to have plenty of them around here.
Right. Yep. 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 That's funny, because we got a certain guy that's up there in Congress talking about he's all for, doing what it takes to get rid of, child sex predators, this, that, and the other. What's his name? Tim Burchett. I think his name is Tim Burchett.
And Burchett.
He walks
Yeah.
around with a Carhartt jacket on, that kind of thing. And
Dadgummit.
guess what? The county that we live in is full of it here lately. And but obviously he's for, no big plea deals and that kind of stuff. Well, where the hell were you at, Tim, over the last 2 years?
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, he's walking the halls of Congress talking about Doge and how an NCAA baseball player can't get eligibility to make more money for the University of Tennessee. Those kinds of things. You know what I mean? Talking about Sheriff Barong and how they're protecting the children, and yet we're
Yeah.
getting plea deals like we are. So, and here again, I went off on my tangent, but there it is. That is Protect the Children. That is Saturday, 1:30 to 3:30 at the library. We're asking everybody to share it, come out, join, get involved in it. Again, it's not a political event. It's about all these great minds. Whatever you're doing, we're
I,
seeing it.
I was just sharing it to my page.
Oh, I got you.
That's
So
the
yeah,
new one they made
it's
up.
it's the new one. That's right. It's the three speakers. Trevor had to duck out for whatever reasons, and so, but it's those three. Those three, I can't wait to meet. I've already met Jerry in person. Have yet
Yeah.
to meet Melissa and Jeff in person, and we have a lot coming up with both of them. May 27th, we got another thing just like this, but it'll be those two with us on the show, and then Jeff has how do you got it? He is pushing the boundaries and the limits of my brain on some other things, some super intellectual stuff, space stuff, deep dives into shows about Michael Lester, Joe Kent, stuff like that. All these things, hopefully, that are super interesting that are going to come up because I like Jeff, but we don't necessarily agree on everything, which makes that
Yep.
should make it for a good show.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know,
good
so
thing, man.
yeah.
Could you imagine how just ho hum everything would be if everybody agreed on everything? That just seems like it'd be so drab to me.
Kind of sounds like the government administrative that we got in Blount County. They all agree on things. You know what? I'm going to win this election and retire, and we're going to put so and so in that position. Oh, they all agree on that. Except
Yeah,
for the voters. Except for the voters, we don't agree. So
the voters better get up off their butts and do something this go
that is
around.
right. Get out and vote. That is right. So I got a packed week. So we got Blount County Breakdown tomorrow, Christina on Wednesday. Then I got caught up on Thursday, and then we got Melissa on Friday. I swear I was going to slow down at some point.
Yeah,
Some point.
yeah,
So
it's definitely rolling, brother.
that's right. So after like after the May 5th election, that's another thing. Allen's election is the same as Jerry's election, is the same as Beth Reese or Beth Myers Reese election. Um, is that I guess they're all that way, right? But so much so that if
Uh,
they
just just the ones where it's all Republicans.
right,
All the
right,
seats where it's just all Republicans. May 5th is the election.
exactly.
That's it.
That's
After
it.
May 5th, it's done for a lot of those
Yeah,
seats.
yeah, for 4 years. Yeah. So,
Yeah, so
um,
don't wait till August.
right. Don't
Don't
wait
do
till
that.
August. Yep.
You got to
Early
show up.
voting. And look, they got every possible way to make it convenient for you. And if you listen to my show on Thursday, if you think convenience and voting are supposed to go hand in hand, I think that's bad. We'll just leave it at that. So, but they have every possible way to make it convenient for you to vote this election cycle, mail in, um, early voting, and then day of on May 5th. And early voting, the way I understand it, you with early voting, you don't have to vote in your district. Like if you're close to Everett High or
Right.
Everett, the rec senior center rec park, whatever that is right there. I used
Yeah.
to vote there. But if it's, you're early voting, you can bop in there and vote. You know what I mean? Or
And that's
Pellissippi.
early
Yep.
voting's from the 15th till the 30th, right?
I don't know the exact dates because it's not my favorite. I'm not a fan of it. So,
I think it's 15th
yeah.
to the 30th.
But because it's this election and it's so important, I'm going to try to push it. That early voting, get out there and vote when you can, or you can do like I do and wait till May 5th and vote.
Right.
And but it's very, very important. You want change in our county, this is the year to do it. Look, there's so many people out there that ran for office when we said 40, 39 or 40 for commission. But I think like 54 total altogether, the various government offices that are up for reelection. So there is a good turnout this year. We can't say that there's not. There are still some spots that are being uncontested, but for the most part, it's larger than, would you say, most elections. The candidate pool is. So, yep. Yeah, Danny, no slowing down now, brother. And then Chris was like, yeah, slow down after May 5th. And then it's balls to the wall. Yeah, I think me and Robert talked about taking a 30-day break. And then, back to business as usual. So, but yeah. So anyway, like, share, follow. We'll get the reels out of this in the next day or two of Alan Latham and his for county clerk. I almost messed it up. County clerk. Yeah. And then other than that, Robert, you got anything else left to say, brother?
Nah, man. I believe we've about covered it all.
I would say we have. So, all right, man. I will see you tomorrow, 9:00. Yep. Hey, is there anywhere we're supposed to be? Is there like a meet and greet or something? I feel like if there's somewhere I am supposed to be tomorrow or something, but
I don't know. I have to look through.
That's fine.
Yes. Maryville Billiards.
Farrah. Yep.
Yeah.
Farrah Williams deck. She has a meet and greet tomorrow. That is right. So hope to see you guys there.
He's going to go out there and play some pool.
Where's that at? Do you know?
It's up there. Let's see, if you're coming down Hall Road past Food City or the Kroger there, and you take a right after the viaduct where the four-way intersection is.
Yes.
Barbershop.
Yes.
Take a right there, and it's right up on the left. There's a little building there with a few different things in it. And that's what happened.
All right, man. Hope to see you guys there tomorrow.
Yep. Well, we will be there.
All right, Robert. I will talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
Yep. I'll see you then, man.
Yep.
Later, everybody.
All right, guys. We will play a... Oh, no. We will play a People on the Porch song or two before we head out. Like, share, follow Alan Latham, obviously an honest, modest, hardworking man. He's asking for your vote. So get out and vote. Get out and vote. That's all I can say. Get out and vote. People on
my heart, pumping all day long. Get me the morning when darkness comes. My heart, ooh. It takes so long to mend. It's harder to lean on this shell of a man. You found love in the Lord, your family and your friends. Could you please pray for me that I can find the same within? My heart always at my back. My back is always strapped with these things that I call my own. Life, it isn't always grand, but when you finally take that stand, you become a man. You needed to become. You meant everything to me. While you left, I could not see. I guess people just do what they want. Time, it goes faster every day, and my heart, it leads the way, while the future, it fades into a memory. Is always at my back. My back is always strapped with these things that I call my own.